Hi everyone, Emma here. I am getting ready to make another one of these bracelets, but I'm going to change it up a bit. I think I'm going to shorten this area here, and I'm not sure how many strands I'm going to do, but here's the big difference with this, and let me get my camera set up here. So I'm going to use the gray thread. It still kind of matches this. These are the crystals I'm going to use. And I'm going to use these that I got from the Art Beads dollar bead sale. That should definitely be enough beads for what we're doing. And so here is the difference with this. First of all, I'm going to use a magnetic clasp, and I'm going to attach it pretty closely to each side, and I'll tell you why. This is a bracelet for my friend Diane, who sent me the Skittles. She sent me a bunch of other stuff and did a huge favor for me. So I'm going to make her a few bracelets here and send her some goodies. But in the meantime, I want to get this done. But I wanted to show you because I was just going to do it off screen and then show you the finished product. But it's so different from the initial bracelet that I thought you might get a kick out of it. So, and I kind of need the companionship, I guess you would call it. Yeah, I'm getting a bit emotional just thinking about it. I just got off the phone with my family doctor, and I kind of knew that it was going to be a little emotional. She was the one that kind of found the cancer in the first place and took it seriously, and you know, along the way, not everybody took it seriously. So she was supposed to, it was a telephone appointment. It was supposed to be to update me on the mammogram for the right breast, which is the opposite breast of the cancer. And so I was really kind of concerned about it, because I thought, well, why is she calling me when they told me when I got it done? And I'm going to start working on this, and then we'll go back and forth. So I'm just threading my needle. When I got the mammogram done, it was actually the same day. I'm trying to think. It was like the same day or the day before that I had gotten my cancer diagnosis. And so I was kind of concerned. I'm thinking, why? Like, they told me it was clear, so why do you need to talk to me or see me? Now, she did say, or the secretary said it was a non-emergent visit. But, I mean, when you're dealing with cancer, something like that can freak you out. So I was a little freaked out. Anyway, as it turned out, it seemed like she just sent me the report through an email, and I printed it off, and it doesn't look like they just said it was compared to the previous and it was the same. Now, the previous says that I have a complex cyst and some some, what do they call it? Non-suspicious calcifications. But they listed it as a BIRADS. I was thinking it was a BIRADS 3, but I think it goes A, B, C, D. So I think they listed it as a BIRADS B, which means just continue to monitor closely. So I have to go back in 6 months. The BIRADS C would be to biopsy it. So, you know, it's left at that. The other part to that is I'm not too concerned because I went for the genetic counseling, and they did agree that I needed to get testing, and I've had my blood drawn, so I'm just waiting for the results. And they did send that as an urgent request for the results. So, so I'm just starting my herringbone, but I'm starting it with a brick stitch, I think it's called. So you put 4 on, and then you go through the first two and it folds over. And I've left a pretty small tail. I in the past ones that I've made, I've not needed this tail, so I'm just gonna weave this back in. So these are pretty. They have the AB on it is. I'm so sorry. My brain is just not functioning right. Rainbow AB on it, and it looks amazing. So it's hard to see on the camera sometimes, but maybe once there's a few there, we'll see it better. So then I just go through these guys again, and it will straighten them out. And then I'll start adding. So if you want to see how to make this specifically, because I think what I'll do for this video is I might explain some stuff, but for the most part, it's going to be the same as the previous video. So if you're interested, take a look at the other video. So the information that she did talk to me. So first of all, she's so funny. I guess there was no note beside the reason she was calling me. So she says, "So how's it going? What is it that you wanted to talk to me about?" I'm like, "No, like you called me." But so anyway, she did want to know what was going on with the breast cancer, because she said sometimes it takes them a while for the letters. But the one thing she did say is, so some of the stuff she told me kind of stressed me out, and I guess that's why I'm sitting here with you guys. Because I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, just we're here for you if you need to talk," and vent. So yeah, it stressed me out because so the first item she told me was that the surgeon that did the lumpectomy is retiring in a year. Now I heard that. I think the nurse told me that. So that was not like a huge surprise. I'm just going to see if this is bright enough. I need to stop for a second because let's talk about what I want to put on here. So I am going to put these here. So that will fit into those two beads. But in the middle, and it might be a bit tight, but because we're not attaching the strands, this should not be a big deal or deal breaker. So I will use one strand for this as well. So I kind of want to put this in the middle. And then I had these lovely fish that have the rainbow AB on them, and I thought I'd put those. Now, initially I was going to put a whole strand of these on each side of the mermaid, but that might really stretch out the bracelet. So then I thought maybe what I should do is put, here, let's move this down a bit so you can see, and tilt this, bring it down. So do something like this. I have some loose ones here. Let's open these. Maybe one of those in between that one, and then the other go this way, and do the same on the other side. And these beads are two-sided, so one side is clear and one side is AB. But since we're stringing them, they will flip around, so it's not a big deal. And then the second one like this, and put a bead there like that. And then the rest of the beads on the top and bottom of the fish, as well as the mermaid. But I kind of want another strand on each side to outline it. But I don't know, maybe I should just put it, just the 3 strands. So that's why I stopped here, because I need to decide what I'm going to do. And that is going to be really super bunched up, because I kind of don't want it that. Let me see how close I can get these guys. like that. So there's 2. So there's 3 might do it. And then 2 on the side. I don't want it super wide. You know what? I think I might just do... I wonder if I should do 2 strands for the middle one, for that one there. And that will give it more space. You can see there's a tiny gap. It'll open it up a bit. So then what we'll do is when we go to weave them in and out, we'll leave one side blank, one like single bead aside, have the 2 in the middle to attach her, and then have one single bead, and that would open it up a bit. So okay, so that means we need 2 more. Okay, that's why I wanted to do it that, figure this out. So yeah, so she said he was retiring, and I kind of knew that, which in my opinion, like, really didn't affect me. Although when I went to see the genetic counselor, we did talk about what my expectations were, and I did say that, you know, if I'm positive for the BRCA gene or some of the other genes that they're testing me for, that I would probably get a bilateral mastectomy. And I talked to my wife about that, and she agreed. She said, you know, if that comes back, then that's a whole different story we need to actually consider. So, so anyway, my doctor said, so do you have a follow-up with the surgeon? And I was like, well, no, he sent me for the radiation oncologist. And I guess at that point I figured, you know, do the radiation and I'm done, right? She's like, well, no, you need to follow. Somebody has to follow you up. And I guess she's looking at it as her responsibilities, right? So she wants to make sure that it doesn't get missed or that I don't get left. So she did say that she got a letter saying that if, because of his retirement, if I needed to see a surgeon, that she had to put a referral back in. So I guess they're not doing referrals of patients. So that is, you can see how that would stress you out, because I'm thinking, well, can you guys get your shit together, please, while I'm here with cancer? Oh my God. Ugh. I don't need to know about your administrative crap during this time of like crappy waiting in the first place. Okay, so let me keep track of what I'm doing here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what I wanted. So I do need to increase this a bit because you need it to be stable. So initially I didn't want to do as much, but you can see how I kind of need, well, at least do 2 more rows and then decide. But I think since we're putting these big beads, I kind of want a little more. But here's the thing. Miss Diane has a very tiny wrist. She has a 5 3/4 wrist. When I measured these guys, it was quite a bit. Now I measured with this clasp on. So let's measure just the beads, because I am just going to add this on top of it. So that shouldn't be, we'll measure this as well. So let's take a look. I'll put it here and just hide that there. Get my ruler out. So thank you all for hanging in there with me. So I would say this 1-inch mark brings me right to the middle of that clasp. So if I'm doing it on the same side, doing the same thing on the other side, that would take 2 inches off of her 5 3/4, which would give me, and I usually add a 1/2 inch to a bracelet for most people. For my wrist, because it's so small, I only add add a 1/4 of an inch, and I think we might add a 1/4 of an inch to Diane's as well. I think as you get smaller in the wrist size, you don't need as much of a space, because here's one that has a 1/4 of an inch and I can fit my whole finger in there. Here's the one that I made yesterday, in case you're wondering. I glued the slider. It's not moving. It's stuck there. And if you go back and look at the video, I didn't put a whole lot of glue, and then I let it cure overnight. But here's another one. Now, funny thing is, this wrist is bigger than this one, just by a teeny bit. But even so, look at how big it is. So, okay, back to the, so we're going to need a, so if we subtract 2 from 6, so 4 inches of bracelet of actual beads, and this is 1.5 inches. So that's not too bad. I think that's going to be the dealio for that. So, okay, so let's get going here. So I'm just going to get my thread set up to start my herringbone, like that. So that was the one thing that stressed me out. But then I thought, you know, when I see the radiation oncologist, I can ask her what the process is, that if I need follow-up. Well, initially, actually, I was going to ask the genetic counselor, and I think when I saw her, we did talk about it, and she did say that whatever recommendations they make, they will send a letter to the surgeon or whatever doctor I'm dealing with the recommendations. So, and those recommendations are surgery. So already with the ovarian cancer in my family, and I didn't know this, that because there's not a lot of really good testing for ovarian cancer, and it's usually not detected at the early stages, that they recommend, even before you get genetic testing, they recommend you have them removed. And because of my situation being 12 years post-menopause, she said, you know, that she could send a letter. I'm getting an appointment with the gynae uro doctor. She is going to be doing the pelvic floor repair and hysterectomy. She said when she does that surgery, she removes the uterus if you're in menopause. So I'm sure even if I just asked her without the recommendation, she would probably say, yeah, we'll take out the ovaries. So that's going to be taken care of. Not sure when, but. So the other thing that the family doctor said to me was, did he discuss the fact that you have 2 cancers? I was like, no, he basically was focusing on telling me I had cancer, didn't really discuss anything else. And if he did, I didn't hear any of it. It was just like above my head, not in the sense of the information. It's just I kept going back and forth saying to myself, I don't have cancer. This has just been, you know, a crazy nightmare. It's not really happening. You know, I'm never sick, so it's no big deal. And then I get there and he says, you have cancer. And he was like really, really kind of almost apologetic. And I think part of the reason for that is, for whatever reason, they kept like insisting that it was benign and that I could wait for the surgery. And I kept bugging them to I mean, not bugging them, but I did call them a few times to say, do you have any cancellations? When do you think it's going to happen? Maybe I need to come back and see him. And maybe I should call and say I'd like to book an appointment to talk to him about potential mastectomy and see what they say, if they book an appointment or they say, oh, he's not available, but we'll book you in with a different surgeon. So here's the thing. When I see the radiation oncologist tomorrow or next week, I will talk to her about that as well. I'll say, after all of this, what's my what's my next step in this process, and how do I get back to the surgeon to do surgery if I need it? And maybe I'll have a bit more information, but I may end up having to make some calls, and my wife's still sleeping. It's early in the morning, so maybe when I talk to her, see what she says. She'll probably say the same, wait till you see the radiation oncologist, and then, because here's the thing, if the genetic testing comes back positive and my wife and I agree that I should have the mastectomy, because that takes 4 weeks for the results for that. If I can if I book an appointment to see the surgeon ahead of time, that will alleviate some of that waiting. But so you can see how this is getting a bit kind of convoluted and confusing. It's annoying. So yeah, that's why I'm stressed. Oh, so yeah, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but I can see a lot better the AB now that there's a whole bunch of them on there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more rows. Will bring us to 7. So yeah, she kept saying, when you see the oncologist next week, and I was like, you mean the radiation oncologist? Because I guess I'm not clear on what each individual does. And I'll tell you, when I first saw the surgeon, because it was for a biopsy, and he actually, he only does, I don't know what he does. He is not based in the hospital. So I felt like it was more like a contract thing that he was doing. So I assumed, and I don't know if it's a general surgeon that does these, or it's a breast specialist, and maybe it's just different here in Nova Scotia. So the impression I got was he was not the breast specialist. But now, from talking to my family doctor, it sounds like he is the surgeon, or maybe she's confused as well. So I don't know what the dealio is. But I guess some of this information is starting to get a bit funky, but if I think back down to the basic stuff, they did the surgery, they got it with margins. That's not to say that they did say there was more stuff that was proliferative, so calcifications and cell growth and stuff like that throughout the breast. So those things have to be addressed. Now, they can be addressed with the radiation. And now that I think of it, actually, I did look up you know what I looked up? It's really hard to find anything here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's our 7th. So now I'm going to come down and I'm going to add the wire guardian. Come down here. Oh wait, sorry, I have to go through and attach these two. So let's go back up. Actually, I'm just going to go all the way through this one, other side. It's not going to matter, it'll just reinforce it. There. And skip the top ones. And let me just pull that down again. Pull that up. Okay, so now I'm going to go across here to bring those together. So what I did was I just looked up the radiation oncologist's name, and it brought up a bunch of like that she's part of the, she's a professor at the university and stuff like that. And then it also surprisingly now we have socialized medicine, so it's a little different than what's in the States, but they do have Rate MD apps and people actually rate them. So I was able to read and it said that so these are all attached now, so I'm just going to go all the way down here and cross to add my wire guardian. So every review said how amazing she was. She was not in a hurry to get you out. She answered all your questions, took care of you, made you feel like you weren't being left, you know, not being taken care of. So I'm going to attach the wire guard in the middle too. So let's go down this one here, like that. There. Okay, and grab the wire guardian. Get that through the tube and through the other side. And I am going to put the magnet on. Now I did put jump rings, but I'm going to do it anyway. So go through your needle and just pop that on the, let me see, it's flipped around here. There. Make sure it's okay. Like a dot. Yeah, I just double checking. You need 3 beads on each side of it to be in the right spot. So I am going to go up to, let's do 3. Make it easier for me to get through. And tighten that. And then we'll go down a couple of times, down and around. So that might straighten out these two. I'm not really concerned. Tight. Go through here. And then down. Through this guy. Through the 3. Actually, you know what? I might do just the 2. I'll tell you why. Because I don't want a whole bunch of strands in the same spot. Because then they'll start to show. But you know what? This gray really is concealed in this. So, go through. So yeah, you can see I have enough to do another one of these, and I'm still got lots in the bottle. So there. I'm gonna put a knot in this and tie it off. Just because, like, I would normally just leave this and use it for something else. You know what? That's pretty long, so I might actually leave it on there. I'm just going to take it off the needle and leave it on there for now. Not sure where I want to start with my strand, but we'll do that. Just remember to move around your needle because you can see that's kind of damaged. You might not want to put that in your bracelet, but we'll see. So let's put that one aside. Do one more of these. Get another strand. So far I'm liking. Now I do one kind of little persnickety spot that I have on this. These are great, but I do find they should have put a bigger tab. And let me see if I have one to show you that has a tab. So I have the Beading ones that I bought as to use for giveaways. They're super cheap. Like I think it was 25 of them for, I can't remember how much. It was extremely cheap. Like maybe 25 cents each. I think even cheaper. But anyway, so this is theirs. Here, this part you can adjust to whatever size strand you have or spool you have. So you can tighten or loosen on either side. And then it has this tab, so you hold this, and what that does is you can see it loosens it a bit. It makes this part easier to pull through. But if you see this, trying to pull your strand through, you can't do it. It's way too tight. So you have to pull that to get this going. And then, but you don't have much to hang on to. So, and the fact that it's so tight, it actually affects the strand coming out. Like it, you know, if you were to take your nail and kind of pull through, it has that effect, which is a bit, you know, there's a bit of damage to the thread that you're doing by doing that. So yeah, that's just, I might just take that off and put one of my other ones on. So let me just make sure. Okay, that should be enough. But I have to say, here's the other thing. I'm finding this gray, it frays a little when you cut it. Now I just sharpened my scissors, so it should be like a nicer cut than that, but I'm gonna thin it out a bit. Get my needle. Okay. And get started. See what other rambling I can carry on with. Oh, I have an appointment this afternoon, a phone appointment. So now that I have the diagnosis, I am not taking any chances to going into any busy waiting room, doctor's waiting room. So I have a telephone appointment with my mental health nurse. And initially I was going to go into the office because they're like so obsessive. They wear like a gown and one of those, they wear like a face mask, but they wear a shield as well. So you don't have to worry. But part of that is some of the clients that they deal with are they're characters, I guess you would call it. I'm sure there's a proper diagnosis for that. We've been in the waiting room with some people, and it's just like, oh. So that's, they're a little obsessive about it. But so I was gonna go in, but when I mentioned to my wife, she's like, "No, you'll be in the waiting room with all those people." So like, oh, okay, I never thought of that. I don't like, funny thing, I don't like talking on the phone. You guys are probably cracking up laughing. I have no problem talking to empty space, but I cannot. I, I think it was just the way we were raised. We had one phone, and it was on the wall between the kitchen and the living room, and it had a long cord so you could like walk away from it. And we would get on the phone like to talk to our friends or something, and my mom would say, "Get off the phone, your dad. It's a business phone for your dad." So my dad was a foreman on construction, and he had probably like 10 guys under him. So every night he would have to keep the phone clear in case they called to say they wouldn't be coming into work. Don't bother picking them up, because he used to go and pick them all up and take them to work because they would go out of town for jobs. So rather than have all of them bring their vehicles, he had a huge van, and he would collect them and take them. And so there was that. But I think it was just that idea of that a phone was meant for business and not pleasure. So I never got used to talking on the phone. One, two, three, one more. So yeah, I don't like talking on the phone to the nurse, but I thought it might be a good time to call because before my surgery, um, I had seen the psychiatrist in April, and she said, we'll rebook for August or for September, but in the meantime, you can, you know, book appointments with the nurse. And they left it up to me to book. And with everything that was going on, I just didn't get around to it. So I thought I better fill them in what's going on. I feel pretty good. I am noticing that the day before I have an appointment, even if it's a phone appointment, I'm really stressed out. And I think the big thing, and especially after talking to my family doctor, the thing that freaks me out and scares me is that something's going to get missed, or that I'm going to make the wrong decision about my treatment. And making that wrong decision is more of, not making the call to say, do I need a follow up with the surgeon? Do I need to come in to discuss why we didn't talk about the two different types of cancer? And it's totally um, understandable to maybe call and say, I need to book an appointment to see the surgeon before he leaves to discuss the results, because I was a little overwhelmed when I got the results. So if we could do that, that would be great. And I'm sure here's the thing with my concerns, like being worried about stuff. Every time I've either talked to somebody, doctor, or seen a doctor, or requested an appointment, they've all been super nice and bent over backwards for me. So I really shouldn't be worried. It's just a matter of, make the call and ask for the help. So and what's interesting is I noticed that there's a couple of things available for people with cancer. Actually, quite a few things to help you cope with some of this stuff. But I must have flipped this by accident. But I don't know why I was telling you that. I guess sometimes I think, well, I don't really need help in that way. So one of the things is, so they provide mental health. that's specific to cancer. So that might be something I could look into. Because without being mean or anything, I do find sometimes people that don't know much about cancer will say something, and I don't want to say stupid, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, really? You just said that to me? And if you're a healthcare professional, you should know better. But, yeah. But you know what? At least people are talking about it. It could be worse, so I can't complain too much. But, so they have that. I actually, interesting enough, I was looking for the Department of Radiology, like oncology. What is it? Radiation oncology, it's called. And that's where I have an appointment next week to see the oncologist. I was looking for that department in the hospital so that I can, I'm so used to, if there's something I don't know, I just go online and look it up. But our system, they have not gotten up to date with websites and stuff like that. So each department, they don't have the money to, hire somebody or do specific stuff for a website to represent that department. So it's frustrating because I want to see where I'm going, kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go up one. So when I was looking up the different supports for people with cancer, it mentioned these rooms, comfort rooms, I think they called them. And they actually had one on the same floor where my appointment is. So it's meant for family members and for patients. And then they also offer meditation and massage, stuff like that. So, so at least, well, there's no, I was just going to say Jen can go in that spot, but she's going to come to the she's going to come in for the appointment with me because she has questions too, so, but we'll see. And, the other part to this is I keep, the weather is really nice now, so I'm getting out cycling every day, but there's days when it's like really windy. It's hard on the bike, especially after my hand surgeries. The handlebars, when you're gripping them because it's windy, it gets really sore. So there's times where I think, oh, I'm not going to go for a ride. And then I think, I better go now because after the radiation, I might be too tired. And then I'll miss my summer of cycling. So then it's like this kind of weird making myself feel guilty to get off my butt and get out there. Like I always feel better after I ride, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the last one. And I didn't go through all the beads here. I don't know what I did here. Oh, I went. This is weird. Okay. I didn't finish I had to cross over to the other side. I also have potential, well, I will be having abdominal surgery for the prolapse, and I don't know when that's going to happen. So the waiting for that, for just the gynae uro to do that surgery would be like 3 months, and it's getting on to that 3 month time. But because I have rectal involvement, she referred me to them. When I called their office, they said don't bother leaving a message, that the waiting times are so great that they'll give me a call, kind of thing. And so who knows? That could be 2 years, that could be 3 months. I don't know. So in the meantime, I have placed a call back with the nurse in gynecology, and she said she would contact the surgeon and find out if it could get pushed up because things have gotten bad. So that's another thing that I'm dealing with that I haven't really been talking too much about. It's kind of embarrassing. So okay, so now I'm putting my strands across here. And that'll be it. We can actually attach this to the other side of the clasp. So up through here, just the one, and down. So you can see how fast these go. And even if you were doing all herringbone, it goes really fast. So yeah, when I'm doing things, I keep saying, I need to get this done now because I don't know when I'll be able to do whatever. And I mean, on some level it's good because I've been in situations where things have happened so fast that you don't have time to deal. And but it's also like a crappy way to live. Oh, I have to get this done because, in 2 months from now, I will be laying in bed, sleeping. Now, I'm pretty healthy, so who knows? This could be a non-issue after the radiation. And then if the genetics comes back negative, I'm laughing. It's just a matter of monitoring everything. Okay, so let's get, where's it? Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to take this off. Actually, I might leave it on. I'll tell you why. Because the magnet's going to get attached to my Guardian. And bring it through the other side. And through. I don't think it's going to matter. It's sticking to my needle. Let's get these threads out of the way. I thought I didn't leave a long tail. Look at it, it's pretty long. Okay, I want that on that one, yeah. So let's go down. We'll do the same. We'll go 3. There. So you can see how that's coming together now. So down 3 on the other side. These are quite tight, so let's see if I can find the hole to go through. It doesn't matter if it gets loose because we're going to tighten it back. Go through the hole. Let's do this in 2 steps here. Go down. I hope this works out. I have great expectations, high hopes. Oh, I'm going to have to do that in 2 sections here. I can get it in there. It's teeny tiny. I think it's kind of tucked into the bead. Oh, it's not liking this. This needle is kind of big. There. Let's go through here. And this one I might tie off. It seems shorter than the other strand. And I'm going to go, let's go through 3 here. You know, there might be enough for one. So let me see where the, yeah, so let's bring this over all the way up. I went to, oh, it got hooked here. I went all the way up except for the top. I want them to continue to sit that way because then the beads will fit in there. So let's go, we're going to come out this side to add a strand. Actually, I might come up this one and go down the other side. I'll tell you why, because I want the strand to be coming up to add. But if I went back down, it would be going the opposite direction. So now I'm just going to move all my string over that way, and we're going to start to string on. And what we need to do is decide how many beads is going to make the, so what did we say? Measure this. Yeah, it was 1.5. So that's 2. And we're going to do a 6-inch. So we need 4 inches of beads. So just line them up. Now this is not going to be accurate. We might have to put them on the strand because these are rondelles. So they're skinnier than, like they're wider if they're flat. But this will give us a basic idea of what we have here. And then we'll measure. That's 3. There's, we need a few more here. And we'll probably need more because it will make a difference. Oh, that's 4.5. Let's try this first. So we'll count them as we put them on. So yeah. I'm just looking at my strand of thread. I don't have enough to go up and down. So I don't want to use, I guess I can tie it off on the other side. Maybe I'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see what that measures. So now you have a better idea, so they're sitting the correct way. Let me tilt this here. Okay, there's my ruler. So that's 3, less than 3 that we need. So it is considerably less, eh? Let's do, we'll do 5 at a time. So that's 25. Almost there. So I think 4 is what's going to do it. One, two, three, 4. Let's see what that gives us. Try and straighten that out. So that's 4. So that's 29. And I thought these were in 25s, but the loose beads, I have 1 left. So I think these are 30s. We'll see when we get to the next one. So now I'm going to take this off the magnet, right? Because now we are going to attach it through here and tie a knot. So we're going to go, I am coming through this middle line. I'm going to go through the middle line here. And see if I can get it through all of them. I'm going to do it in 2 steps here. And remember with the last one, actually this is pretty loose. So this one here, and it might be because these beads are bigger, when you went to turn it, you see how they stick out? They should still like fall pretty loose, but I think that's the size of those. But I'll remember that when I pull it tight. So let's put this in here. These last 2 beads. Okay, I'm gonna bring my thread down a bit. Yeah, they pretty. I've got this tight, and they're still pretty loose. I might put a knot here. So let me grab those threads like that. And go in through here. And I'm just going to go over and down a few, and then I'll cut it. Actually, I might go through more. They felt a bit loose there. I don't want like little strands coming out. Yeah, that one's a little stickier. In the meantime, I will weave in that end piece. Cut that. Weave in this piece. I might go just 2 because I don't want to push the other thread back out. I'm going to go through 2 and then down 2. That should be good enough for that one. Careful, you have strands there. You don't want to cut those as well. The magnets getting in the way. There. La la. Okay, so let's use this strand to reinforce this piece here. So you should go through it twice. That's what I'm getting at. And because these 2 strands are not the same strand, if one breaks, then you don't have to worry. So that might be a good idea to do separate strands for each. Okay, so this here, because this is in this second row, I want to go through this row. So I'm going to bring my thread over and down. So let's just go across one. And oh, I'm in the wrong spot here. And then go up these guys and through this one. Nice and tight. And now go through everything, all the beads. These are so pretty, these rondelles. They have a, the finish on them is called a mercury finish. And I know people have been asking me about different beads, so there was a question about where these came from. So I got these from Raven's Journey, but she's a like it's only for wholesalers. But I was able to find a similar bead on Art Beads. So you can check Art Beads, you can check Scara Beads is a really good place to get these lovely beads. And Peggy from Buy the Bead, I haven't shopped lately with her after I bought a whole bunch of Swarovski stuff. I tend to buy like a whole bunch and then take a break because my pocketbook needs the break. Okay, so now we'll go through these guys. And there is your first strand. So let's take a look at what that's going to look like on. So there's the first strand. So there's going to be that plus the mermaid and the fish and then another strand of that. So this is going to be amazing. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. I think we need a different... No, you know what? We can make one more go of this. So let's go up the bottom. I'm not going to go through all of them because you'll see we need to get to this row here. But you know what? Maybe I should put... Oh, did I do this wrong? Because I needed a third row. Oh, I can't believe I did this. Because I wanted to put her in the middle and the fish on the side. So actually, yeah, I missed a row. Okay, that's there. We should be able to do this. I think maybe what we should do instead of that initial design is to put her there because she is so wide compared to the rondelles, is maybe do this and then another strand. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. And we'll put some beads in between. And we will string her in the middle too, so there'll be a single on each side that won't have any beads. If we feel like we need it, I could take a little silver bead and go across. So, okay. Rejigging this. So let's go through these middle beads. Be careful when you put your needle down to watch that you haven't caused a knot. That happens from time to time. So I want to be in these two strands here. So across this bottom piece here. And then now we can go up because we are going to be where we want to be It's nice and tight because we went through that with the to put on our clasp. Okay, put that aside. So now we are going to have to measure this again. So let's cut one of these guys. So actually we can do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that works out. Like that. One of those. We'll measure it too before we, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. Okay, that works out. There's 5 and 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a fishy. I love these fish. These were one of the first things I ever bought that were check glass, like 10 years ago, and I hoarded them. These are from my original stash. Yeah, I was a bead hoarder before I even started this channel. Surprise! Are you guys surprised? Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at this. I think we should put a row of, I have some really tiny, like number 2s, silver beads. Let's take a look. So I think we might need another bead on there. Let me pull that tight and measure it. I don't want to measure it against the other beads. It's not really accurate. Yeah, it's missing like one bead. So let's add a bead on the one side. I don't think it's going to matter. There. Okay. So there is just barely enough. So I think we're going to do 2 strands for this. So we are coming into this middle row here. I'm going to go to here on this one. And I'm going to go over 2. Like that. I think I'm going to put my knot here. And try and grab a strand. Like that. Bring that around. I'm just going to put one knot in this. So it's close to the front. I don't want it to be seen. There. And there. Tucked into that bead. Those guys are secure. And let's just go through the rest here. And maybe up a few. There. That one's done. I was like afraid when I saw the magnet attached. I thought it was the that I'd cut something. I'm gonna tuck this one in. I want to get it out of the way. Ugh. I just sharpened these. I have another pair. Oh, this is even worse. I do find some threads are hard to cut. Look at that, that's terrible. I wonder if my big scissors would clean that up. Oh, that just... useless. Okay, we're gonna have no thread left. I have my sharpener somewhere here. Let me, so this is a sharpener. Let's see if we can sharpen this. There, you can hear it. And then the other side. I watched some videos on YouTube on how to, you can hear that, how to sharpen your scissors, and basically what they say is it's actually not sharpening it. What it is the edge starts to bend over, and what that sharpener does is it aligns it again. But that's beyond my skill level. Look at that. There's nothing left of this thread. I cut it because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it threaded. So let's talk about fun things. So I'm not done with my unboxing from Art Beads, by the way. So I am going to finish it up, and actually the end part will be fun. Fun for me. I'm sure it's fun for you. People have said they enjoyed them. Because there's the 3mm bugles and some triangle beads and some magatama stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna cut that. Why was I telling? Oh, the reason I mentioned that, somebody did mention they didn't know when the sale was and they wish they had. So I have to tell you, most people know this, but I'm just gonna, so now you see this one is straight and that one's kind of flippy floppy. But you can actually just stretch your cord a bit. Not a big deal. And not a big deal if this one's flippy floppy either. So let's add the last one and then decide if we want to put something in here. And actually, I kind of like that we're going with like the silvery mercury look, but I would like to tie in this gold color. So I don't know, depending on what I have to put there, something teeny tiny might read really nice. So let's get another strand. So what I have to say about sales is, now I know people don't like signing up for newsletters and email notifications and stuff. I just finished cleaning up my Yahoo account from the incredible amount of, not necessarily spam, but all like notifications from different bead companies and stuff like that. But here's the thing, if you do sign up, they usually give you an initial 20% off of your entire purchase when you first sign up. Some of them is even better. Some of them, like Beadalon, I think is 30%, which basically covers your shipping and some. depending on your order. And so it's definitely worth doing that. The other thing, if you're concerned about too much crap in your inbox, you can always unsubscribe. So what I do, even before I start looking at what they offer in their store, is I will sign up, because sometimes their email notification is either on a calendar, so they do it a certain day a month or a certain day a week. So then you don't, you may not get that whatever percent off coupon right away. So I do that as soon as I go to their site, and then I start looking at their site. I'm just looking at this as to where I'm going to put my knot. So I think I might go to the end for this. So yeah, you can always unsubscribe. So I don't know any reason not to do it. I went through everything. It came out. Since we're going to the end one, I'm gonna go to the end here. And we'll hang on to that piece so it doesn't go all the way through. And let's put a knot in here. So yeah, that's how you get notifications of their future sales. So now specifically with Art Beads, they have a schedule of their sales. And I only know that from buying stuff from them for a couple of years now. So I'm probably end of June, or it might be after Memorial Day, they have, or Labor Day, or no, sorry, Memorial Day, like the 4th of July. They'll usually have like a flash sale then, but then that following week or the day after, they have their dollar bead sale, I think, because this stuff was from 3 weeks ago. So if you remember that yearly, then take a look and maybe consider building your stash, saving some money for it, because it's a good deal. And they have a ton more stuff than what I bought. What I bought, I went through and checked everything that was actually 50% off. There's 10, 15, 19. We get a new strand here. Actually, all I had to do is, let's do this differently here. I won't count it because I know that there's 30 on a strand. I might have to count it because it just occurred to me. I was wondering what happened. I heard a click. It's my bracelet. Okay, let's count them as we put them on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I checked the ones that are 50% off, but I mean 30% still good. So you could look at the 30s as well. And I just eyeball it, so I look, it'll say $1 and then it'll have the price that it was. And then so if they're currently selling it for $1, it's got to be $3, $2 to $3 to get your 50%. Sorry, $2 to get your 50%. So yeah, they had a ton of, so there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll tell you in a minute how many is on a strand. There's This is weird, like 28 on a strand. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need one more. I think we did 29 on the other. Just check. Like that. Yeah, I need one more. Okay. There. Oh, this is looking pretty. Look at that. Okay, so let's go through the furthest one here. And actually we can put a knot here, and that way if it breaks, and then it will be knotted on this end. Hold that tight. There we go. If you hold the knot, then it stays put. If not, sometimes it moves around and gets loose. So now let's go through these guys. There. And get the knot. I'm kind of nudging the knot with my fingernail, but it's kind of sticking out, but you really can't see it. I don't want to make this too tight. Okay, so now let's go through all these guys. Reinforce it. And so these pink mermaids I bought years ago too. Now the green one that's sitting here, this is going on a leather bracelet. I just got those from Jill Wiseman. So I do like find now Art Beads has a lot of like the mermaid kind of beads and stuff like that, like the different shaped beads from check glass beads. But I did find there's an Etsy seller in Canada that I use to buy my beads like that, and she has an incredible selection, and she often has 50% off sales. Oh look, there's a bit left there, so let's pull that through there. Okay, I think it needs a little more. Let's see what it looks like on. Yeah, it looks like it's missing something. If it was closer, it'd be different. Okay, so this is the fun part. Let's see what Emma has in her stash. Okay, so I had a couple of ideas. So one of the ideas was maybe doing a seed bead strand, but I think we can do better than that. I think we can get some beautiful, I know, some teeny tiny crystals. And you know what? You know what? Let's look at what I just got from Art Beads. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. I'm so embarrassed. I have to sort this. Look at this. Is this crazy or what? So this is all the stuff from Ravens. I kind of put it in there because I know what's in it. But these are the ones that I got from Art Beads on the dollar sale. So we either want like a silvery mercury or we want a kind of antique gold. But we want them super tiny. I think we want them even smaller than this. Oh, look at these guys. Now here's the rub with these. I'm probably going to need 2 strands. And you know, funny thing is, normally I order multiple strands. I usually order in 2s, so 2, 4, 6. And then if it's something I use a lot of, I'll order 10 strands. But I had so much stuff in my cart, I was like, oh, just, and I totally forgot to order multiples. Because usually what I do is I put stuff in the cart, and then I go through the cart, and then I add the different amounts. Okay, so I'm not seeing enough in here. Let's see what this one. Oh, look. Looky. So it's a little more intense than the gold on there. But it looks pretty awesome. But I don't have enough. I might have another one of these, so let me check. So this is going to be a long video. This is going to be a sleeper. You're like, what? So if you're having a hard time falling asleep at night, I'll be very gentle. I promise I won't sing a lullaby if you use this to help you fall asleep. Look at this tiny one. But it's not going to be long enough. Oh, maybe. And I need 2. Oh. I have 2 silvers here. I don't know. I think that might be too much silver. These ones are really pretty. And they match. And I have a few strands of these guys. Those are really nice. Okay. I also have some Chinese crystals that would probably match better. But let's take a look at the ones. Okay, so there's the, yeah, that's too flashy. That's like disco time. It's a disco mermaid. I want it to be a little more organic. And actually, I should be looking for this light color. That's not too bad. That's a maybe. So this is my process. What I do is I try and, oh, this is looking really nice. But we're going to do one more try with the crystals. And that is another bin that I'm embarrassed to show you. Oh, this bin is so, actually, you know what, looking at this, when I looked away and came back, it looks pretty amazing. I think that's the one. But this is the other bin. Oh my God. And let me see if I can find where the crystals are. Oh crap, don't tell me it's in another bin. Where could it be? Let's take a look. This is our, yeah, okay, this is, so you know the next de-stash is going to be crazy. Oh, look at these. So these I got on AliExpress. So like a big strand like this would be $1. So it's worth, if you're not sure where to get these, take a look at my AliExpress. I think I have a few AliExpress crystal hauls. And it gives you the seller. So here's, I bought every color. So see, this one's a different color. Actually, this one might match. Let's see if we can find, ooh, you know what I just saw that I like. Let me pull these apart. I'm not sure how to store these, that's why they're sitting in a bin. getting close. These are cool, the colors. Actually, I'm going to put that aside. This would make a really neat summery color. See my process? This is the one I was thinking. This, to me, reminds me of the sea and mermaids. I don't know why. But I'm looking for the mercury type. I know I have some. Maybe if I can find a purple color that goes with this one's. I'll try that one. Something like this, actually, but you know what? Those are too big. Those could be smaller. Look at this one. Okay, that should be enough to decide. We're probably going to end up going with the other. These are so pretty. Okay, let's open this up. Oops. I'm all tangled in my needle now. Let's get this off here. That's weird. That got right in there. There. Go under here. Okay, put that aside. Okay, so these are super nice. They match her. So that is an absolute potential. This is the purple one. Oh, this looks really nice. At first I was thinking it was too dark. Oh, this looks amazing. I don't know if you can really get the impact of this. But she gets lost in it. It's really nice, but I want her to kind of pop. So then there's this one. Oh, that one's pretty. That one's really pretty. Okay, oops. So this is the other one, but no, that's too dark. This one's probably too dark too. Yeah. I'm gonna try this for a shot. No, doesn't match. And this is that colorful one, but I don't think this will match. Oh, actually, that looks amazing. Because these little beads match the purple. Okay, I think I like it, but it's this or I think it's the crystals. Okay, let's cut this strand here. I want to get the last one. Out. So let me see if I can kind of eyeball this so we don't have to count them. There's one strand. Let's move these over because we'll do that again with the next strand. Too many to count. This one, there, and then we'll tie this Okay. So let's get our thread. Let's make sure we're coming out the right hole here. Okay, so I would have been threading it to the end. Okay. Did we go through this twice? We did. Let me... Oh, let's just go up this way. I can't see where the holes are in these. Six. Can't see the holes. 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought I'd count them just so that I can count the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting to get worried again. I'm not going to count these. They're just... I question everything. So this notion from my family doctor about follow-up with the surgeon is concerning me. Don't want to get lost in the shuffle. So I think what I might do, I've kind of created a bit of a relationship with the nurse. So I might call her and ask her what the scoop is and see, do I need to, what kind of follow-up do I need to do, if any, and if I need a surgeon, what am I going to do? She may be able to say, well, we can refer you to a different surgeon right now. Or she may say, you'll have to get your family doctor to resubmit the referral. But I won't know unless I ask, right? Again, this will help at once. Should I go wake up Jen? Honey, I need you to make a decision for me. She's like, yeah, that's why you woke me up. Or I'll go and snuggle. And then later I'll ask her about stuff. She's like, is that why you came to snuggle with me? That's what she says. Yeah. That's part of your job as being my wife. You're supposed to help me make decisions. Oh my god, these are like incredible to... These are worse than seed beads to thread. I think it's just the color and the bead matte color as well. Oh, come on. Oh, behave. As Austin Powers would say, oh, there's a loose bead here. I'm going to put it in there. We can always take it off if it's too big. Okay, I've got that like really tight. Oh, you know what I did, eh? When I threaded the mermaid, I don't know if you notice, it's on this strand. It should have been this strand and this strand. So let me see. Did I go down? Oh, I haven't gone through a second time. So I will go up this side, come out. Or no. Oh, what did I do? I don't have enough room for these guys. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, this is not friendship. Okay, so this is gonna attach here, but then this strand should be over here, and it's not. I think what I'm gonna do is go through here and kind of tuck it over and then use that. I think we can save it. So we went through that one. Let's go through this one. I'm just gonna go through a few and then go back up. So this is, this is something you need to work out when you're doing your bracelet and not be yammering about all kinds of stuff. I need to go through that last bead again. Missed it. Okay. Let's do. We actually don't have to go through it multiple times, but I'm not going to take a chance. So yeah, let's talk about other stuff. I don't know what to talk about. I think it's so funny. I got on YouTube when they started out, and my wife was not interested in YouTube at all. And we have a really large screen TV, and I would cast things to the TV, and she'd come in. She's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" YouTube. Really? Yeah. So then, becoming a YouTuber myself, she finally clued in. Like, so she's into NASCAR, and the NASCAR races change broadcasters pretty frequently. So she would set the DVR to tape the race, and then it would get switched to another broadcaster. And she's like, "Oh, I missed my race." And I'm just trying to decide what to do here. Yeah, let's go through this a second time since we haven't yet. And we'll tuck it over to the other strand up here. So she'd miss her race, and I'd say, "Well, just go to YouTube. I'm sure somebody's already uploaded it." So now she watches YouTube. So it's a routine. We get up in the morning, have coffee, and she has tea, and she goes through YouTube, and she watches all the monologues from the different late night shows, so we don't have to watch the whole show. And then gets her NASCAR updates, and she has registered to buy an Aptera, which is an electric car. So here is where I want to switch. I want to bring it into this strand like that so that it gives me the space for this crystal on this side. So I kind of messed up on this. Surprise. Surprise, surprise. There. That's going to be lovely. And, oh yeah, I've got lots of thread. I'm going to move my thread. And I should have moved it earlier because it's actually damaging my thread. And look what's happening. Don't wear your metallic or your magnetic bracelets when you're creating the magnetic. So I think I'm going to go through here. And then get these guys. See if we can get these ones on better. So what's funny too is she actually watches cat videos with me too. I'm like, don't click on that one. She's like, why? I said, because it's just pictures. I can tell. It's a compilation of pictures. Every once in a while, she still clicks on it. I'm like, no, you want the videos. It's YouTube after all. You want videos, not pictures. Go with Facebook if you want pictures. Am I bad or what? Oh my god, these things are ridiculous. I thought holding it in my hand would be better, but it's not. Cannot find the hole. Oh, there, that's working. Just press on the bead and it goes in. This is kind of working. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some stuff today. I can't stop thinking about that information from my family doctor. Oh well, something to talk about with the nurse this afternoon. I have a phone appointment this afternoon with her. So if you've gotten this far in the video, it's almost 2 hours, let me know what you guys are doing this summer. I'm really curious because I'm noticing that my views are low in the first week, and then I'm not getting a lot of comments. So, oh, the phone's ringing. I gotta get that. Thanks for joining me. I will be back with the rest.